It's Mark Manuel with our concerned group of homeowners, and this is for the city of Duluth. And it's much easier to just respond to your email visually because a lot of what y'all say, there's conflict in some of the things you say, and that it doesn't always match up with what's really happening. And so I'm going to show you again what is happening visually, and what Kevin McInturf has said to me, and how everybody's explained how everything works. So I'm down here. This is the Encore property over here. All of this is Duluth. The Overlook common area right here. And then back over here is the city of Duluth, Rogers Bridge Park, where the flooding ends up. Okay, so today is Wednesday, April 29th. So that whole creek channel, all back along this vegetation line, there's a creek that flows from the Overlook through Encore, and it's supposed to go all the way down to the river eventually and drain. That's what it's supposed to do. It's not supposed to be a marsh. It's not supposed to damage Encore, the Overlook, and the city of Duluth. You can see the flooding back here. It's not supposed to turn all three of our properties into a swamp. If you believe that, that's not accurate. That's not legitimate. Is for 25, 30 years, it has been a stream bed, regardless of how they've cut the grass at the golf course. This stream bed has effectively carried the water all the way down to the Chattahoochee River, except for various times when there have been blockages in the creek that have been removed very quickly. When Bill Aiken was on staff with you, it doesn't matter if they manicured the grass or not. The blockages were remedied so that the water could flow correctly down to the Chattahoochee River, so there would be no flooding. Now, what has happened is, I don't know, again, I don't why the staff at the city of Duluth have embraced, I don't know if it's a woke agenda or they're tree huggers. I don't know what it is, but it's shifted. And so now that the creek is being, and my background is landscape architecture. I am all for taking care of the environment to the max. Not against it, okay? But I'm not for letting random blockages destroy Encore, the Overlook, and the city of Duluth, Rogers Bridge Park, which you spent millions of dollars making. It doesn't make any sense for you to embrace that perspective. So what needs to happen, according to Kevin, is that I understand there's a 25, 50, 75 foot barrier from the creek corridor that goes to the Chattahoochee that technically can't be invaded. Okay, you have to let it grow naturally, unless there is a blockage in the creek, which this scenario has happened many times in the past. And from what Kevin has directly told me, a blockage in the creek can be remedied. I understand that the EPD has maximum final authority. But according to Kevin, what happens is the city of Duluth, because it's in the city of Duluth, you kind of get the first right of refusal to go in and look at it. And the city of Duluth can suggest, because they're going to be the ones that the EPD listens to. Okay, the city of Duluth can suggest, hey, we need a variance on this stream so that we can clear or get into and unblock this creek. The city of Duluth has that authority to ask the EPD, and the EPD traditionally grants that because it's causing chaos. It's that simple. It is that simple. And so the city of Duluth has to, number one, want to ask the EPD to grant the variance. Okay, you have to go through your hoops of doing that. And then the EPD will typically go, okay, if you think that's what it is, City of Duluth, we will grant that. Because they're gonna defer to you first, unless they absolutely have to come out here and look at it. They're gonna take what you're saying as legitimate. So that's why when the city of Duluth waves their magic wand of we're requesting a variance to fix this, the EPD is going to 90% of the time say, sure, we'll grant that, so that this 3 different properties aren't being destroyed. Okay, that's how it works, according to Kevin. And it rained just yesterday. Okay, everything is flooding. The creek all the way back here is overflowing its banks onto the golf cart path in Encore. And the creek has cut a entirely new channel. Now I can't walk in the water here, but that's the new, it's so overgrown right here because they can't cut the grass because the creek is flowing into the Overlook common area, our legal property. So the creek flows out of there, goes across the golf cart path, and has cut a new channel under the fence, and I can literally see it flowing. See if I can get in here a little closer. You can see the water right there. The water is flowing. There is a new creek bed that's flowing in to the Overlook common areas. And then this is turning into a swamp all through here that I'm standing in, which is why they can't cut the grass here. And then it's flowing from the Overlook into Rogers Bridge Park and making that a swamp. So we have 3 properties that are being destroyed either for whatever reason, beavers, pine sticks, blockages in the creek up here that can be remedied in a matter of a few hours with the waving of the magic wand of the city of Duluth asking the EPD for a variance for that to be fixed. Simple, not complex. And then all 3 properties stop being flooded. The millions of dollars you've spent, the city of Duluth, on your park here, this is not supposed to be a swamp right here. There is no creek on this area of the park here at Rogers Bridge Park. The creek is on the Encore side of the fence, and it goes all the way eventually to the Chattahoochee River. They spent a lot of money and a lot of legal hoops they had to jump through to get all that to drain correctly in order to build this neighborhood back here. So, city of Duluth, it is as simple as you ask for a variance. That's what you recommend to unblock the stream so the stream can flow all the way down to the river like it's supposed to, not turn into a swamp again. Very simple, could be done in half a day, if even that. And then the creek and all the flooding stops coming into the Overlook, and then it stops flooding and turning the park that you spent millions of dollars on, turning that into a swamp. None of this has to happen if the city of Duluth would just engage very simply and ask for a variance from the EPD And the EPD is going to go, well, if that's what the city of Duluth recommends, we're good, because you are the governing authority here in this jurisdiction, even though the EPD is the ultimate authority above you. But they're going to do what you recommend most of the time. That's how it works, Mr. Ricker. And so what we are asking is that the city of Duluth would go through the process requesting a variance to get the stream unblocked. And if that means cutting the grass, if that means, digging junk out of the creek, whatever the variance request needs to be to make the stream flow normally, do that. And then all 3 properties are not in destruction mode. And there's not going to be a legal suit, and there's not going to have to be thousands and thousands of dollars spent in legal engagement to make this stop. It can be as easy as the city of Duluth requesting a variance. The EPD is going to go, sure, let's get this taken care of. And then the city of Duluth, either you do it or you get Encore to do it. But according to Kevin, this flooding issue in this creek is much broader than what I just explained. It's not just flooding the wild part back here on the golf cart path of Encore, and it's not just flooding the Overlook, and it's not just flooding the city of Duluth. According to Kevin, there is a multitude of lawsuits back here by these homeowners because the creek is flooding their property because, again, it's not draining correctly. Now, I don't know all the details, but I just know what Kevin told me is that there's all kind of lawsuits with these people back here because the creek is not draining correctly. So that variance that the city would ask and get from the EPD and make Encore unblock the creek because it's on their property, or whoever is responsible for unblocking the creek that's on their property. Okay, if that creek was unblocked, that probably, I don't know the extent of the details of the homes over here, but that probably would fix a great deal of their flooding issues from this creek. There may be issues with other creeks over there because there's a lot of creeks on that side. But as far as this creek goes, it would remedy that. It would drain correctly from the Encore all the way to the Chattahoochee River. It would eliminate the flooding into the Overlook, and it would eliminate the flooding into Rogers Bridge Park. Again, a simple request of a variance from the city of Duluth to the EPD, which is the legal process. And the EPD is 9 times out of 10 is going to grant the variance because it's being asked by the city of Duluth stormwater engineer people, okay? Because they're going to defer to you first. That's how the chain of command works. Even though they are higher up in authority, and they are the ultimate authority, but they're going to defer to you first, is how the system works. So that's what we're asking. And this would have taken like pages to write this out. So now I've explained it. I've showed you the evidence, city of Duluth. All 3 properties are being flooded every day. And when it rains, it's like a nightmare. So, city of Duluth, please respond to me and let's get this taken care of in the simplest way possible, which again is the city of Duluth asking for a variance with the EPD. The EPD is going to go, yeah, it gets fixed, the water drains, all properties, everything dries up, everything's fixed. No lawsuits, no people getting mad at each other. It's no clogging up the court system with unnecessary litigation. Just the city of Duluth doing what they're supposed to do. So Mr. Ricker, Mr. James, Kevin, Everybody in the park that's looking at this, that's what needs to happen. That's what's happened for the last 25 or 30 years. I grew up, my boys and I have searched crawdads and critters on that creek for the last 30 years. I know it like the back of my hand. I know what I'm talking about. And it's an easy fix. Easy fix. No litigation has to happen if the city of Duluth would just do your job, get a variance, let the EPD give you that variance, and then it can be fixed and the creek can be unclogged and all is right with the world. That's the solution. So please get back with me, Mark Manuel. markmanuel@mac.com is my email. This is just a lot easier than trying to explain all this in writing to you. So please get back with me and let me know. Thank you.